Prince William is opening up about why his relationship with the late Queen Elizabeth wasn't always as close as people might think. We've got more on how time and growing up changed everything between the future king and his grandmother in today's Page 6 headlines. For decades, Prince William says his bond with Queen Elizabeth was quite formal. Speaking on The Reluctant Traveler with Eugene Levy, William explained that generational differences made it harder to have that very close relationship when he was younger. But as both he and his grandparents aged, he says things got warmer and warmer. The Prince of Wales revealed their connection was at its best when Elizabeth and Prince Philip were in their 80s. Once, in his words, they'd relaxed a little bit. After losing both grandparents within 2 years, William reflected fondly on their guidance and enduring influence in his life. As William continues preparing for his own future on the throne, he says he's learned to embrace the role with calm confidence, and perhaps a little of that royal wisdom passed down from the Queen herself. Next, Kendall Jenner is getting candid about a more complicated family dynamic, her relationship with Caitlyn Jenner. On the latest episode of The Kardashians, Kendall admitted she struggles with her parents' completely different views on certain topics.
I have to compartmentalize my relationship with my dad in a way because I love her. She's my dad. Like, we have a good relationship, but sometimes I get frustrated with her with certain things.
The 29-year-old model shared that she still makes an effort to include Caitlyn, knowing she doesn't have a lot outside of her family. The episode also marked Caitlyn's first cameo on the show in years, with Kris Jenner inviting her ex over for one final goodbye to their old family home, a reunion that surprised even Kendall and Kylie. And while the two Jenners may not always see eye to eye, Kendall's comments show her commitment to keeping family ties strong, even when views, political or personal, don't always align. And finally, Sydney Sweeney just turned heads and the red carpet into a runway moment at Variety's Power of Women event. The Euphoria star shimmered in a silver, completely sheer Christian Cowan gown that showed off her figure with a cinched waist and lace-up back. Pairing the daring look with diamond earrings and silver stilettos, Sweeney debuted her new blonde bob and instantly went viral, with fans calling her an absolute showstopper. But it wasn't just about fashion. During the event, Sweeney delivered an empowering speech about being underestimated, telling the crowd, "Strength doesn't look loud sometimes. Sometimes it's about getting up again and again, no matter who is watching." Actor Anthony Hopkins is opening up about his battle with alcoholism and the frightening night that nearly ended in tragedy. In his new memoir, We Did Okay, Kid, the 87-year-old Oscar winner recalls a disturbing incident from 1975 when he drove blackout drunk from Arizona to Beverly Hills with no memory of the trip. When he later asked his agent what happened, he was told they found him on the side of the road before police did. Hopkins writes, "I could have killed someone. I could have taken out a whole family." The actor describes that night as a turning point in his life, saying he eventually heard a voice ask if he wanted to live or die. When he chose to live, the voice told him, "It's all over now. You can start living." Hopkins says that moment marked the beginning of his sobriety. He's now been sober for nearly 5 decades. In the memoir, Hopkins reveals he began drinking at age 19, calling whiskey his favorite meal. He admits he preferred drinking alone and could never stay sober for more than 3 weeks at a time. His alcoholism, he says, had a devastating effect on his personal life, including his first marriage to actress Petronella Barker, which he describes as the worst 2 years of my life. By the time the couple realized their relationship was failing, Barker was pregnant with their daughter Abigail. Hopkins writes that one argument left him so filled with fear and revulsion that he packed up and left. He later tried to reconnect with Barker and their daughter, but says the meeting was awkward and the damage had been done. Abigail never seemed able to forgive me for leaving the family when she was a baby. She had her reasons. I can't blame her for that. That's life. But it was and is a tremendous source of pain. In a recent New York Times interview, Hopkins confirmed they remain estranged. He said, quote, "I wish her well, but I'm not going to waste blood over that. If you want to waste your life being in resentment, fine, go ahead. Get over it." Hopkins has since found stability with his third wife, Stella Arroyave, whom he married in 2003. He credits her with helping him find peace and move beyond regret. "She broke me wide open and helped me overcome the old feelings of regret and anxiety in a way that set me free." Hopkins also reflected on his sobriety in a recent podcast interview, saying he realized the extent of his addiction only after realizing he could have killed someone. He described a moment of clarity, what he calls a voice that took away his craving to drink. Now approaching 88, Hopkins says he's grateful to have survived his struggles and to continue working, His memoir, We Did Okay, Kid, is available this week. Ooh la la, the romance between Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry is heating up, with more as our senior reporter, Mara Siegler. What's the news with Katy and Justin?
So a source is telling me that he is crazy about her and thinks that she's perfect. So he is head over heels, is what I'm hearing.
He's in love.
He is very into it. I'm being told that they agree on a lot of things, from kids to politics, which is obviously important since he's the former Prime Minister of Canada. Also French food, because they just were in Paris together.
That's right, and they were also in Montreal. The romance first started in July when they went on a date in Montreal. And then since then he went to her concert. They were spotted on her yacht.
Yes.
Getting very handsy.
Very nice to have a yacht for date night.
And so they were also spotted in Paris at leaving a famous cabaret.
Yes, the Crazy Horse. So it's Katy Perry's 41st birthday, and that is what she chose to do. And they were photographed coming out of there looking very nice and holding hands.
So he says she's the perfect woman. Obviously, she's a super famous pop superstar. Critics are saying that this might be a little bit of a midlife crisis for him. This is the equivalent of Burning Man.
Yes, so sources have previously said that so he is separated from his wife, Sophie. They separated in 2023. Katy Perry also just separated from Orlando Bloom in, I think, just this past summer.
After 10
right?
years together, yeah.
Right. So, both sort of freshly whatever. But so Trudeau is done with his marriage and he's done with politics for now, so that he has some free time. And people are saying, he would never be a person who would date somebody out of the limelight. I guess he, is used to hanging out with the creme de la creme of people, and he likes being that, it makes sense to people that he would choose a famous partner. His father, apparently, who was also prime minister, dated Barbra Streisand and Kim Cattrall. So I
mean, Samantha from Sex and the City, that it's hard to get better than that.
Yes.
Yeah, Pierre Trudeau was prime minister. He followed in his father's footsteps, and maybe he's taking after him in the taste in women as well.
Yes.
So Katy Perry is sort of going through a bunch of cringy moments. You see that video she posted from her tour, from her Lifetime's tour. She's given a birthday cake, and then in a goofy way, she tries to throw it at someone and it lands on the floor. And, Twitter kind of dragged her for this because it created a big old mess.
There was a woman, and I don't know if her mother actually made the cake or not, but she said, my mom was really excited to make a cake for Katy Perry, and it's been a long time. I don't know why you would do this. I thought the video was upsetting because the dancers are literally eating the cake off of the floor.
Yeah, this was so cringy, and it also reminds you that when someone throws a cake upside down on the floor, someone's going to have to pick it up.
Exactly. It was not a good look. I think it was supposed to come across as I think Katy Perry is just having a really hard time reading the room.
Totally. But I don't believe that sheet cake was made by anyone's mom.
Yeah, but I think it had her, I don't know. Someone did make that cake.
And a custodian, will have to clean up that mess. There's sort of this other side of Katy Perry. She's sort of in her flop era, Justin Trudeau aside.
Nothing is going right for her. So it started with the debacle that was Lady Space Flight, which they didn't really go to space. And then, it was more a thing where it looked like a bunch of rich women, and she gave a bunch of quotes about we're not in space, we're making space, just stuff that really annoyed people badly.
And her Lifetime's album didn't do as well as her past albums.
Right, and then her album flopped. People made fun of her dancing. The album didn't sell, and yeah, this cake thing, it's I think it wouldn't have been so bad if her dancers weren't then eating the cake off of the floor.
Yeah, people were saying this is cringy and kind of reminding the world that when a pop star does something silly like this, someone still has to clean it up.
Exactly. She's just having a hard time, I think, coming off tonally correct for the moment that we're at. Again, I'm feminist. I love women. The space flight.
You're not against women going to space.
Yeah, I want them in space. I want astronauts in space, and I would equal pay for everybody. But Katy Perry just keeps seeming to be very tone deaf.
Well, clearly this new budding romance is taking off, maybe into the stratosphere.
Yeah, but Justin Trudeau is not given the ick at all. He is not getting the ick from Katy Perry. He's apparently very into this, and she's perfect.
You know what they say, politics makes strange bedfellows.
Exactly. They are a very unlikely pair.
And Katy has a history of also stumping for Democratic candidates, you know, and
Hillary Clinton, yes.
That's right. So there might be a political future for Katy. You know, this might be a switch for Justin, but also a switch for her. Who knows?
We'll see.
We'll see. For more on this developing story, head over to page6.com. Thanks so much, Mara.
Thank you.